my countrymen, this is Eli Velis Lao Pamatong, President of the Republic of the Philippines. And tonight I have come to share with you my thoughts about how the Americans occupy the Philippines. No people in the world, perhaps, from the Philippines to the lands of the Africans, have suffered so much abuse from a foreign power than the Filipinos. We suffered so much in the hands of the Americans. But in spite of that, in spite of the supreme, extreme cruelty of the Americans, like little dogs wagging its tail to a stranger, a cruel stranger, we kept yelping and following the master that has been kicking our body severely and ruthlessly. And the problem with this is that after all the abuses that the Americans did to the Filipinos, they never apologized. Or at least the Roman Catholic Church apologized after centuries of abuse. They said, "I'm sorry." But the American people, despite of the fact that they murdered half of the Filipinos and stole most of our gold in the Philippines and did other things that are very unfair and unjust, they never said, "I'm sorry." That's how proud the whites in America are. And I have decided to tell you some of the basis for my statement, to the effect that the Americans were so cruel, and that's why I intend to file $100 trillion claim with the American government for compensation of all the cruelties, the sufferings that were inflicted upon the Filipino people because of the occupation of the Philippines and betrayal against the Filipino people. I have decided to file a claim for compensation with the American government. I don't intend to go to court because America is not my enemy. But I am appealing to I will appeal to their conscience to give us the compensation that we deserve so we can get back to our feet and recover our lost glory and dignity as a people. Let me go back to the time when the Americans came after we were bought for $20 million by America from Spain. They came here in 1898, and there were about 8 million Filipinos at the time. 8 million at the time when they came here. But what happened was that, according to Mark Twain, that's the alias of Samuel Langhorne Clemens, this gentleman here, this handsome gentleman, this is Mark Twain. Mark Twain. He said that, and he's a very reliable writer. He was, I think, educated in a very good school, and according to William Faulkner of Harvard University, he was the father of American literature. Mark Twain, Samuel Langhorne Clemens. He said that one half of the Filipinos, so about 4 million, one half of the Filipinos, about 4 million, were killed by the Americans mercilessly, ruthlessly. When they came to the Philippines, we were wiped out. Out of 8 million, 4 million were killed. And there was no justice for that. And it is still unjust today. I believe that injustice and crime does not grow old. What was unjust in 1898 is still unjust today. Time does not make wrong right. Time does not make a crime righteous. It is still a crime. And so he said that the Americans killed, these are some of the photos of those killed by the Americans. About 4 million butchered by the Americans who occupied the Philippines. This is another photo of the Filipinos butchered by the Americans. This is another one. This was in Mount Daho in 1906, Mount Daho. All the Muslims in the area were killed. So the last breathing person killed. And in fact, Mayor Duterte lifted this from my book and showed it also to our people. Mount Daho massacre. And then in Batangas, more than 1 million bombs are there piling up. And you would see the Americans standing on top of the bones of Filipinos. Among the 4 million that they killed. And this was somewhere in Manila, Paco area. A river of bones, a valley of bones of Filipinos massacred by the Americans. That is according to the account of Samuel Langhorne Clements. He said that the Americans were very cruel to us. I would like to give emphasis to what happened at Samar. When the Filipinos thought that we were so abused, they decided to massacre about 82 Americans at Samar. The signal for the attack was the Balingiga bell that Duterte claimed to have taken from America, persuaded America to return to the Philippines. But I did it long before Duterte said that. Claimed the bell. I did that long time ago. But anyway, it does not matter who claims the credit. And the bell is back in the Philippines anyway. So again, on the basis of this extreme, supreme cruelty, unparalleled in the history of criminality in the world community, I have decided to file a claim of 100 trillion pesos with the American government to compensate for those they killed and the destruction, total destruction of Manila and all other places in the world because of their presence. Or other places in the Philippines because of their presence in the Philippines. Let me enumerate. To justify the 100 trillion claim for compensation from the United States. What's the basis? Number one, the legislative denationalization or divestment or stripping of American citizenship of roughly 4 million Filipinos carrying passports without due process of law. About 4 million, no, not 4 million, I'm sorry, I correct myself. At the time, about 20 million Filipinos, 10 to 20 million Filipinos were divested of their American citizenship without any due process of law. I was only 3 years old when that was done by the Americans. And I could not defend myself or hire a lawyer to defend myself. That was the first basis for this 100 trillion claim that I'm going to file with the United States. Second, abandonment of the 250,000 Filipinos who fought for America, the U.S.A fighters. About 250,000 fought. And I think out of the 250,000, 57,000 died. Abandonment of the Second World War veteran. The roughly 2,000 Filipino fighters who went to Korea under Pamatong, Philippine Expeditionary Force to Korea, Pamatong, and stood by the side of America sometime in 1950s or like that at the Battle of Yoltong. And abandonment of the roughly 2,000 Filipinos who fought for America at the forbidding jungles of Vietnam under PhilCAG, Philippine Contingent Group, PhilCAG. That was sometime in 1966 to 69. They were abandoned. So again, the claim is based on the collective stripping of American citizenship of about 10 to 10 million Filipinos without due process of law. Second, abandonment of Filipinos who fought for America, died for America. And three, the act of giving visas to the Japanese, Italians, and Germans and denying the same privilege to the Filipinos who fought and died for America. Giving very good opportunity to go to America, to the Japanese, Italians, and Germans who killed thousands of Americans. That's the third basis for the claim. The fourth basis is their act of ordering General MacArthur to abandon the Philippines after the war and repair Japan, not the Philippines. Repair Japan, the enemy country. That is an act of treachery, which is unforgivable. And then fifth ground is America knowingly abandoned the Philippines into the hands of the communists. Now we are under the communists because the Americans abandoned us. They were glad when this communist leader named Rodrigo Duterte canceled the visiting forces agreement. They really wanted to get rid of the Philippines. I don't know for what reason. And because of this treachery, this disloyalty, supreme act of disloyalty, I am filing 100 trillion claim with the American government. Because I think the massacre of half of the Filipinos when the Americans first occupied the Philippines, about I would say 4 million Filipinos, 4 million were killed. Well, you know, that's worth more than 100 million. And then the abandonment of the Filipinos who fought during the Second World War. There were about more than about 2 million Filipinos who died, including the soldiers. We were practically abandoned by the Americans. We were not given anything. On top of this is what America did to the Filipinos when I was in the United States. One, the Cubans and Nicaraguans were given amnesty. But the Filipinos, about 5 million of them, 500,000 of them were left out. We were not given any privilege by the Americans. But the Cubans and Nicaraguans were given amnesty. Number two, the Haitians from Haiti were given deferred enforced departure status by Clinton, but the Filipinos were not. Three, as I already mentioned, the Japanese, Italians, and Germans were given automatic visas to America, but the Filipinos were not. Then, number five, half Americans all over the world, Asia, were given American citizenship pursuant to the American Law of 1982, excluding the Filipinos, who were half Americans. Six, the Salvadorans were given temporary protected status, but not the Filipinos. Seven, the U.S.A. Out of 250,000, I think only 2,000 were given citizenship, and the rest were just forgotten up to now. And they were not given the full benefits promised to them by America. 8, there was a lottery program giving a green card to the illegals in America, excluding the Filipinos. Now, my question is, why is America unfair to the Filipinos, in spite of the fact that we have been so loyal to America, that we offered several thousands or hundreds of thousands of lives upon the altar of American freedom, that the world community, especially the American people, will live forever. Why are the Americans so unfair to the Filipinos? And before I close my message to you, don't you know that sometime in the past, during the Second World War, this sign could be found at the door of some restaurants in America? What does it say? No dogs allowed, no Filipinos are allowed. Filipinos not allowed, positively not allowed, Filipinos. But dogs were allowed. That is, my God, very ruthless and very unkind. And while they were in the Philippines, all the gold in the Philippines were taken by the Americans. Look at that. Look at that. All the gold were taken to Fort Knox from the Philippines by the Americans. And without even asking permission from the Filipino people. So most of the gold at Fort Knox today could be could have come from the Philippines. That is how much the Americans abused the Filipino people, massacred the Filipino people, subjected the Filipinos to genocide. In Samal, when they retaliated for the massacre of 82 Americans at Balingiga, American General Shafter's order, kill everyone over 10 years old. But it was hard to distinguish what is above and below 10 years old, so they killed everyone. And for a long time, only birds lived in Siamar. It was a howling wilderness, according to the general. That is how cruel the Americans were. But then you will ask, why, President Pamatong, do you want to go back to America? Why do you want us to be a part of America? Well, my friends, let us be honest about it. We are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. If we choose China, when you know the Christians are being persecuted, burned, and killed in China right now. More or less 1 million Muslims are in concentration camps in China and killed. And their organs are harvested by China. It's many times worse than America. So if we choose China, then we are choosing a country that does not believe in God. We cannot worship God there anymore against any kind of religion. Whereas if we remain with America, we have a chance of reforming America into the finest image of the dreams and visions of Jefferson and Lincoln. So we have to choose between two cruel countries. And I find America to be more acceptable than communism. Because I believe that if America can only go back to the America of yesterday, to the America of Lincoln that set the black people free, then the Filipinos will also be as free and given all the opportunities like the black people of America. That is why I want you to support my crusade to regain American citizenship. Because to me, that is the way or the road to the future. I think I have said enough. Thank you and good night.